What's up, y'all, and welcome to Kicking It with KG. I am your boy KG, Kerrick Montonio, and this is my first review for Bravo's Married to Medicine. I'm super excited, y'all, and I want to thank you. First of all, if you haven't already, I need you to like and subscribe because we're going to be coming at it every week. Listen, so during this pandemic, like everybody else, we've been stuck in the house with nothing to do. We can't go nowhere. So all we can do is eat and watch TV. So me, I'm a Bravo fanatic. I love me some Housewives. My favorites are Atlanta, Potomac, New Jersey, Beverly Hills. I'm all in there. But one show that I slept on, and I'm gonna be honest, which was Married to Medicine Atlanta. So one day I'm like, I'm stuck in the house. I ain't got nothing else to do. Let me just watch an episode and see what I thought. What did I do that for? I immediately fell in love with the show. I fell in love with this cast. The show, they deal with real issues. They deal with marriages and relationships. And for me, the most important thing and what I love the most about Married to Medicine is that we get to see black people, people of color, as professional doctors or doctors' wives. They making that money and they out here changing lives. And that's what I love about Married to Medicine. Let me tell you a little bit about me. I am a TV and film producer and writer. And if you get a chance, I want you to scroll on this particular page. We have some content. There's some short films. There's some plays. There's some other things that we have coming. I want y'all to check that out and let me know what you think. Okay? And before I get started into this review, I have to pay homage to some of the people who have inspired me. That is DJ Richie Skye. Man, you are the GOAT, man. I watch you faithfully and I love what you do. And you are definitely one of my biggest inspirations. I got to shout out my girl, Simply Sakina. You are hilarious. I mean, I literally cannot wait to watch your videos and laugh because just the shit you be saying is hilarious. And I would love for you to come on with me so we can talk about this Married to Medicine. I'm gonna need you to check your DMs because I done hit you up a few times. Maybe this will get your attention. I don't know. But holla at your boy, Sakina. Okay? And also I want to shout out Up and Adam. Up and Adam, you're dope, man. I love your blog. I love everything you do. And those are my favorites. I mean, there's some other ones out there. And just shout out to everybody that's out there doing their thing during the pandemic and making it happen. Okay? All right, y'all. So enough about me. But before I get into this review, I just want to give y'all a little backstory and let y'all know who are my favorites on the show, who I like, who I don't like, who get on my nerves. Now, I love everybody. Like I said, I think this is a great cast. They have all different dynamics that makes for great television. But some of these ladies and husbands, they irk me just a little bit. Now, my favorite is Miss Quad. Miss Quad, she got it. She got it. And I love me some Miss Quad. I understand that we're not going to be able to see her as much this year because she is a friend of the show, but I don't care. I'm just going to be glad to see her beautiful face up on the screen because she is bomb. I also love me some Mariah. Now, y'all can say what y'all want to say, but Mariah brings the drama, and Mariah brings the reads, and Mariah brings the shade. And one of my all-time favorite moments was when she shaded the hell out of Toya and her IRS problems. I know y'all remember that. And at the time, Mariah had the little boot on, and she had her little scooter. And for some reason, Toya tried to be funny and get on her scooter and was riding around. And Mariah got in her confessional, and she said, "I don't know why Toya got on my scooter. I guess she finna scoot her ass on to H&R Block and pay them taxes. Scoot away, Toya, y'all." That still take me out. That is hilarious. I love me some Mariah. I love me some Dr. Simone. Listen, Dr. Simone, she gonna get this screaming and yelling at you, but that's my girl. I love me some Simone. I love me some Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Heavenly is hilarious. Now, Dr. Heavenly is also one that gets on my nerves a little bit, but she is hilarious. So, I mean, what you gonna do with Dr. Heavenly? All right, so the episode picks off right after the reunion last year. We see the ladies, we see Dr. Simone, we see Dr. Jackie. They're hugging it out, and they're talking about how they're going to move forward with their friendship. Dr. Contessa, she's unblocking somebody on social media. I don't know who that was. I'm assuming it was Toya, since they had a lot of beef going on last year. So everybody's on a good page. They're hugging, they're rolling on the floor, acting crazy. So I'm like, hey, we going to roll right on into season 8. So The episode picks up and we see how they are being affected by COVID, which is very interesting because we didn't get to see the ladies at all during 2020. So this perspective shows how they were adjusting, how they were affected, and they're right there on the front lines working in the healthcare field dealing with COVID. So we see Dr. Heavenly, Dr. Simone, Dr. Contessa, and their husbands. They're all out in the community during COVID tests, providing information, especially to the black community, since at the time, the black community was being affected the most. Now, I did catch an interview with Lisa Nicole with All About the Tea. Shout out to Monica at All About the Tea. And Lisa Nicole says that they were doing COVID tests before. And then all of a sudden, Dr. Heavenly is doing COVID testing. So I was like, oh God, here we go. We're going all the way back to season 2 and the panel thing, and they're competing with events. I don't know what it is about these two. And Lisa Nicole is back this season. So I'll be interested to see their dynamic. So they're out there doing their thing, and then they finally sit down, they take a break or whatever it is that they're doing. And Dr. Heavenly says to Simone, have you talked to Dr. Jackie? And have y'all talked? And immediately I thought it was hilarious. Scott and Damon was like, okay, I'm out. All right, I'm sick of it. So that means they tired of this conversation, and we probably gonna be tired of it too by the end of this season. But anyway, so they get up and leave, and Dr. Heavenly, with her messy self, she goes, well, why haven't you talked to her? Because, that's your best friend, or am I your best friend? And with that, a little annoying, that annoying laugh. See, that's Dr. Heavenly being messy, because in my opinion, she is right in the middle between this friction with Simone and Jackie. But I'm going to get into that later. And so I thought it was very interesting at this moment that Dr. Jackie says, well, in her confessional and in some flashbacks, we see her saying that, she was a little disappointed in Simone, and she felt like Simone did not defend her when she was catching all the heat with Buffy and the infertility issues. Now, I love me some Dr. Jackie. I really do. But I'm going to let y'all know my opinion on the whole situation. I am Team Buffy Purcell, and in my opinion, Dr. Jackie was wrong. They always hold Dr. Jackie up on this pedestal like she can do no wrong and she's all high and she's almighty. Well, guess what? Dr. Jackie messed up. And if she is a true friend should be able to tell you when you're right or you're wrong. And Dr. Simone was simply asked the question, which was, do you think that the apology that Jackie offered to Buffy in Cabos was sincere? And the answer is no. The answer is absolutely no. And according to Buffy, and I don't know if she did this on her live or another interview that I saw, Buffy tells us that she never had a conversation with Jackie to say, off camera, to say, hey, I didn't like what you said. It offended me. It hurt my feelings. And they talked about it and there was any apology. The first time that Buffy ever addressed the issue with Jackie was when they were in Cabos at the table. And that's when we see Dr. Jackie go off. She lost it. She said, I apologize. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. And I'm like, Dr. Jackie, like, really? Like, Jackie, are you serious? That's cold. That's cold. And then Dr. Heavenly jumping in with don't. If next time y'all want to address something with Jackie, pull her to the side. Well, why are we pulling Jackie to the side? I don't see y'all pulling Quad to the side. I don't see y'all pulling Contessa to the side. Whenever you guys have group issues, you guys address it in a group setting. So why is it that Dr. Jackie, now that she's in a hot seat, we're not going to confront her in front of everybody else, we're going to pull her to the side? No, ma'am. And that apology was not sincere, and Simone had every right to state the truth. And just because she said that does not make her less of your friend. In fact, that makes her more of your friend because she's telling the truth. Period! That's just my opinion. But anyway, I guess they'll figure that out. I don't know, but Jackie, you I love you, but you was wrong. And to feel some type of way because your friend didn't defend you, that makes me think that not only does everybody else put you on a pedestal, but you think you're on a pedestal as well. So that's just my opinion. All right, moving right along. Next, we see Dr. Simone, who is in her car coming from work, it looks like. And she pulls up, and her son, Michael, he's out in the yard. He's balling per usual. I thought it was really dope that they flashed back years ago and they showed Simone and Michael out playing basketball. And here he is now, a young man getting ready to go off to college. And Simone and him still have that same dynamic in that relationship. I thought that was super dope. Now, Michael lets her know that he is concerned about his attendance to college, a predominantly white school that he's going to due to the racial tensions of the world. I thought this was very significant for Bravo to show this conversation because it's very relevant to how things affect us in the black community. This is a young man. He's at the prime of his life. He has his whole life ahead of him. And this is a time where he should be excited, and he's concerned and he's worried about attending a predominantly white school because of racism. And it makes me sad, but kudos to Simone for how she handled that conversation. And kudos to Bravo for showing this type of situation on TV. I don't know if it has anything to do with the accusations that Nene Leakes has as far as the lack of diversity, but I felt like this was very needed and a conversation that not only Simone is having, but I'm sure a lot of other parents are having. And I felt like she handled it like a champ. So, you know, I love me some Simone. So then we see Toya, that's my girl, and Eugene. And we're showing how their dynamic and how Eugene is handling his workload and everything that's going on in the ER. And when I was watching this, I was like, I can't imagine the psychological effect that it's having to work in the ER and witness the COVID deaths or the sicknesses. And I thought it was very interesting that Toya mentioned, she said, you know, he's at work and he's giving it his all and he's going in. And then when he gets home, he has about 15% left for his family. And I was thinking to myself, okay, Eugene, let's get it together. Cause I don't know if y'all noticed, Toya losing that weight. You know, Toya looking good. So we saw this same scenario play out with Dr. Jackie and Curtis. For seasons, we kept seeing Curtis mentioning how Jackie was working so hard and he felt neglected. And then you saw how that ended up. So, Eugene, I'm going to need you to figure out that work-life balance because we don't need a repeat, okay? And it seems like we got some other stuff, some more infidelity in marriages coming up. I don't want that to be Toya and Eugene's story. So, Eugene, I need you to pay attention to what your wife is telling you, okay? So next we see Dr. Contessa and her family and how they're adjusting to the pandemic. Now, I like Dr. Contessa. She's very pretty. Her kids are adorable. To me, this was kind of like a filler scene, like, oh, we're showing all the family, so let's just put Contessa up here for a minute. Like, it was kind of some weeds, it was some sage and yoga mats and okay, moving right along. So next up was Dr. Jackie and Curtis, and we see them in their newly renovated home, and that thing was super dope. Like, Dr. Jackie, she got a new kitchen, she got a new closet, she got a new glam room, like, and it was super dope. And in my opinion, I figured that Dr. Jackie probably makes or has, you know, the most money. And for seasons, we've always seen her live very modest. Like, she didn't have all the glitz and the glamour and the luxury houses and cars. Like, she always lived very modest. So to see Dr. Jackie with all this, whoa, I was like, okay, Dr. Jackie, I ain't mad at you. I enjoyed seeing her splurge a lot. Like, and to most, we see Dr. Jackie always working. And so I appreciated her and, you know, how she renovated her house. And, you know, it was funny. She was like, well, Curtis, you know, what did you get? He was like, I got the bill. Well, I mean, you kind of owed it to her, in my opinion. So congrats to you, Jackie. And I love the new renovations. Your house is bomb. So next up, we see Dr. Heavenly, and she's preparing for a birthday bash for guess who? Daddy. It's Daddy's birthday. And y'all know Heavenly does not play about her daddy. So she's getting everything together. She's laying it all out. She cussing out the staff. You know, she doing what Heavenly does. So the ladies are on the way to this party. And there's two different vehicles that we see. We see one vehicle that has Contessa and Jackie, and then there's another vehicle that has Toya, Simone, and then the new girl who we know absolutely nothing about, except that she's Toya's friend, and she has a lot of opinions about things that she doesn't know about. But I mean, you know, we'll get to that later. So the ladies are discussing Jackie and Simone's friendship. And my girl Toya was right on the money when she said something. And she said that Heavenly was between their friendship. And I absolutely agree with that. And I'm going to tell you why. But I'm going to point out something else that Toya said also. She said that Simone is putting up a front, basically. You know, Simone, and I agree. We'll see Simone. I don't care. And she said, I'm not chasing no grown ass woman. If she want to be my friend, she'll be my friend. And y'all know how Simone get. But I'm gonna flashback and bring back to the forefront a couple of years ago at the reunion when her and Cecil were going through their marriage problems and they were on the road to divorce. Simone sat all pretty in her chair and she said, and I quote, Cecil is full of bullshit.
No, Cecil is full of bullshit.
Cecil is full of bullshit. And all the cast and everybody was like, Cecil, you got to get with your wife. You got to show her the love. You got to do what she needs, da, 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 da. And Simone said, don't tell him to do that because I'm done. I'm done. By the end of the reunion, they was back together. So that just goes to show, you know, Simone likes to put on this front, but she really is hurting and she really wants to resolve this issue with Jackie. And I hope that they do get to that point. Now, something else, I want to point out some hypocrisy, and this goes back to Jackie and something that she said. Now, she's upset or she feels some type of way about Simone not defending her when she was in the hot seat with all the infertility controversial issues that was going on. But then we go to Dr. Jackie. And you got your friend Heavenly who is bashing Simone on social media and saying all kinds of things. And you tell Simone, I'm going to stay out of it and not defend your friend. So how do you want her to defend you, but you don't defend her? And you don't put your friend in her place when she's wrong. So that is my issue that I have and why I'm on Simone's side. And I love Dr. Jackie, but you wrong. You are wrong. And Toya called it out for what it was. And I mean, come on, ladies. Y'all got to get it together. So we finally arrived to the party and all the ladies are there. We've seen Heavenly and all her extraness checking temperatures and doing all this extra stuff. Now, Heavenly, now you know you was just putting on. Now, I'm pretty sure that the cast and the crew and everybody was tested and confirmed negative. So all that extraness was not necessary. But I know that's just Heavenly being Heavenly. So, you know, they're all gathered and everybody's chilling. And Simone walks in and we see a weird exchange between Simone and Jackie. I mean, it was very conventional, like, oh, how's work? How's the weather? You know, it was very random and awkward. And I think Jackie said it was awkward, and I would have to agree. It was very awkward and very different from what we've seen these two in their friendship. So, I mean, I was like, wow, they really are estranged right now. And, you know, Toya comes in and, you know, she's sipping on her Patron. So I was like, uh-oh, this finna get turned up real quick. So we see Dr. Heavenly. The ladies are all gathered now. And Dr. Heavenly says to Simone, well, why haven't I heard from you? And I love you and I miss you. And bitch, I'm not going to keep telling you that. I'm not going to keep telling you that. I'm not going to kiss your ass. And, you know, that's pure Heavenly fashion. And Simone, you know, just tells her, well, you know, you don't have to. You don't have to. And by this time, Petronia has arrived. Toya is no more. Petronia is in the building. So Petronia is in full effect, y'all. And I'm dying because I'm trying to figure out if Toya is high or if she's drunk, because the way she was tearing up them crab legs and asking for more food, I'm like, Toya is wilding out. But nevertheless, she was super annoyed and tired of the bullshit, as she stated. She proceeds to call out Simone and Heavenly by saying, just in November, y'all was on the floor hugging and kissing and humping each other, and oh, our friendship is, we're gonna get back together, we're gonna do this, which was in November of last year, and here it is the summertime, and the friendship is still in the same place that it was, which indeed confirms that it was fake. It was fake. True friends don't go that long amount of time knowing that they have unsettled issues. You got to put the work in to make the friendship work. And in this case, you know, I'm Team Simone, but she didn't do her part either, because if she hadn't reached out to Heavenly hadn't reached out to her, then they're both just stuck in the same place. I don't know why in this moment Toya was so annoyed by it, but she just lost it. And she went off, she cussed Heavenly out and told her she didn't want to wear no damn shield and to put her ass out because she was ready to go anyway. But I mean, even though she was drunk, she was spitting facts though. You got to give it to her. She was spitting facts. So I love Toya. All right, y'all, that was the episode. So y'all tell me what you think down in the comments. Do you think Toya was wrong for calling out the bullshit? And most importantly, who do you think is most at fault for the demise of the friendship? Is it Simone? Is it Heavenly? Or is it Jackie? I want to know what y'all think. Remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can follow me on Instagram. I am Mr. _Montonio. And I will see you guys in the next video.